So this one is basically why men love playing as girls. You're looking at someone who has a female avatar, plays female characters. Like this will shine some light into why this is done. I hope. Or is this a meme video? I don't know. We're gonna find out now.
As much as I've loved pretending to be an anime girl for the past 2 years, I think it's finally time that I did a face reveal.
Face reveal time.
2, 1. Hey guys, it's me, Noctapus. It was always a matter of time before I got rid of that stupid VTuber avatar. I've always hated VTubers anyway.
Damn, Noctapus is pretty good looking.
Alright, fine, this isn't actually me.
Yeah.
This is Pinoy, my editor. But do you see how it made you feel? Betrayed?
A little bit
even?
betrayed.
I felt that exact same way when I confessed my undying love for a cat girl in Final Fantasy XIV, only for it to be a 43-year-old dude living in Nebraska. But the question is, why do men play as female characters? As an avid girl chooser myself, I've wondered this question for a long time. My main cover-up story was that girls have a smaller hitbox.
Of course,
while
that's
that 100%
the reason.
is totally not coded, very true, it's not the main reason. To get to the bottom of this, I created a community poll to ask you, my subscribers who were specifically guys,
like the female character in Star Rail,
so male or female. Over 2,000 of you answered. The results were not really that surprising considering my type of audience, but over 70% of you said that you picked girls. But not only that,
may I also add that like his VTuber avatar is so genius with the fact that the octopus is the character that talks. That is just genius. I love the design.
One of you wrote paragraph-long
answers. Oh god, let's see. Some of the most common cited reasons might be blah blah blah. I like the fashion, but for me playing a character is about the experience I will never have in real life. I'm straight, but we often hear sexuality is a spectrum. I'm comfortable enough at this point in my life to say the thought of having sexual relations with another man doesn't make me uncomfortable. I just don't want to. I'm perfectly capable of looking at a man and thinking this guy is attractive without feeling sexual desire. That is one thing that I do agree that like is for some reason just seen as like in a weird way in just like the outside world right now. Or like if you're a dude and you compliment another dude because like, oh man, this guy looks kind of hot. People are gonna be like, yo, you gay? It's like in a serious manner. It's like, what the fuck? Are you gay or some shit? What's up with those comments? What's up with complimenting a dude? It's like, well, no. I just, it's clear as hell that this person takes care of their hygiene and their appearance. So therefore, I shall compliment them. In fact, many dudes, many need compliments. Because we don't actually receive that many compliments. Well, welcome to the world we live in. Hell, the last stream I had were like the viewers that I did have complimented like my voice. That was actually really nice. Because I never fucking hear that shit. So, yeah. Very lovely to be complimented by randoms like that. So, let's see what anyways, we gotta keep on reading. I thought on the occasion I might be bi, but there's always room to explore that. But today I've never had sexual fantasies about men despite thinking a guy's hot. I can't ever really make it past that stage. All thoughts end there. I can hug my best friend and tell him I love him. I don't know where that puts me on the spectrum. Listen, if you hug your fucking best friend and you tell him you love your homie, that shit isn't making you gay. That's just showing your love and appreciation to your fucking friends. If the world sees you that you're fucking gay just because you tell your best friend that you love him, that because he's there for you and all of that, well then fuck the world. You got one good fucking really good homie right there next to you. In fact, this is the kind of thing that like I really don't understand, because like with me and Crazy, we know each other for like fucking 10 years now. So, and if you would see our DMs, you would assume sometimes we're just fucking gay with our comments. But nah, it just like there's just occasional moments where like I just tell them like we have like those moments where we're just talking about deeper shit, and throughout the conversation, I'm like, bro, thanks for listening to me. I love you, homie. You know, like, I love you, bro. Thanks for being here for me. Thanks for listening to my rough times. And even though shit might be hitting the fan right now, I really appreciate you being around. That kind of stuff, you know? That stuff doesn't really point you at being gay.
Replies that I 100% always definitely read.
Yeah.
Let's start with the most obvious answer of all. Men just like seeing sexy girls when they grind out thousands of hours of gaming.
It depends on the game, but also true. Depends on the game.
Isn't completely untrue. If Blizzard puts one of my favorite characters in a bikini, then
we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. I have a clip from a short. We don't talk about it.
it's my obligation as a player to
Not
give them $20
we
for
don't
it.
talk
For the most
about
part,
it. It was my
would
down
seem like
bad
guys
era.
just fit the overall stereotype of objectifying women, but then it falls apart for certain situations like, why would a guy pick a female character in an MMO where you start out in the ugliest clothing imaginable? Or why would someone commit to an entire playthrough just to play as a non-sexualized girl character? This isn't saying that aesthetics of things like character skins aren't important to players.
I like to
that
feel
being the
pretty,
only
okay?
reason isn't telling the full story. So that would lead us to another possible answer. Girl characters just have way more clothing options.
That is also true. In Final Fantasy, you're also limited by gender. Like, some clothing is just limited by gender, so... And by default, a lot of hairstyles are catered more towards female avatars in Final Fantasy, as well as clothing just looks overall much better made and shaped for a female model.
It's no secret that one of the core experiences in gaming is being able to make your character look as cool as possible. And based on the replies to the poll I mentioned earlier in the video, over 30% of you mentioned that you play girls because the clothing options just look better.
Yes,
this
they
makes
really
sense,
do. The
considering
clothing
that for
looks
a long
better.
time, game companies were too scared to experiment with what kinds of skins belong to what character. Typically, male character outfits tend to be big and bulky, and female characters have historically been a bit more revealing and aesthetically pleasing. Lara Croft versus Nathan Drake, Cammy versus Ryu, and the most sexist case of all, Pac-Man versus Mrs. Pac-Man. If you think back to when some MMOs were first released, like Final Fantasy XIV, Blade and Soul, Black Desert Online, they all had or still have gender-locked clothing. This means that your options for outfits are split from the very moment you start playing.
Basically,
so unless
that's
I'm feeling like
restricted.
playing a big burly warrior, of course I'm going to pick something more.
Yeah, see, that looks
pleasing.
much better, doesn't it? Like,
to give game companies some
for
credit
fuck's
where it's
sake,
due, it's
I
becoming more and more
hate when audio
common. Something more the moment you start playing. So unless
that is chunky as hell.
I'm feeling like playing a big
That doesn't look, in my opinion, doesn't look good.
warrior, of course I'm gonna.
But then, like, this chest piece that would be way too stretched on a male model just looks really fucking nice on a female model.
Pick something more aesthetically pleasing. To give game companies some credit where it's due, it's becoming more and more common now for characters to wear whatever they want. For example, in Final Fantasy XIV, they recently made it to where you can live out your dream of being a giant, manly orc in a bunny suit. But until that line keeps getting blurred, I'd like to quote someone from my comment section. If I'm going to be staring at an ass of a character for the next 100 hours, it should at least be one I like looking at. And while I wholeheartedly agree with this statement, there's
sometimes, you know,
missing.
depends on the game again.
Nail in the coffin to put this debate to rest, you know? And I think I might have found it. A single name kept popping up while I was researching for answers. Proteus. And what do people named Proteus and girl avatars have in common? They're both usually old men, but Proteus wasn't any old man. He was a Greek god of the seas who could predict the future and transform into whatever he wanted. Okay, cool, but what does that have to do with anything?
What the fuck does that
Let me explain. Let's look at a scientific phenomenon known as the Proteus effect. This is a name given to an occurrence when a person's behavior in a virtual world transforms due to the characteristics of their avatar. The behavior changes because the person has a pre-existing knowledge or expectation of how those players online act.
You know, I get that. I genuinely do. Sometimes, when playing games as a female avatar, like, for some reason, this is like that mental thing. Because I'm a female character, the way I speak is definitely more catered towards a feminine style, as in, I'm not, like, I had a lot of examples where people in games would misunderstand me for a fucking girl just because of the ways I've talked in the chat. It's just nutty.
This might be kind of complex, so let me give an example. A toxic League of Legends player who typically plays more aggressive hypercarries gets to play a support character. This player might subconsciously start embodying more stereotypical feminine traits, like being more cooperative or empathetic with their teammates, because that's how they associate that side of the player base in their brain. This doesn't usually mean
yeah, but
gameplay,
League
by the
is
way.
toxic
This is
in a
more of
bad
social
game,
thing.
so who
But
cares
this
about
effect
that,
is
right?
real and has scientific evidence through it through hundreds of research papers. Some of the students at Nottingham Trent University found that men often associate positive feelings towards women avatars, such as how attractive or aesthetically pleasing they are, making them more likely to choose female characters. Game companies already know this, which explains why you can always buy sexy outfits with microtransactions. It's not really that shocking when you think about it. I mean, what, do you just expect them not to make money? Complain about it all you
that's
want,
also a
but
valid
people
point.
are still buying it. But hold on, that's not
I
the
would
only
swipe.
reason. The Proteus effect
I would
also
swipe card.
explains how men typically gravitate towards playing women in multiplayer games because they expect more positive social outcomes. If I play as a girl in this MMO, not only will I be more aesthetically pleasing, but players are way more willing to help me out and give me lots of gold. To back this point up, I found another study from the University College of London who discovered that players who use women avatars with more detailed clothing not only have more social interactions, but more positive social experiences.
That is also true.
Now, I know
Yep,
this is kind of shocking
very true.
because the mere thought of having a girl on your team is enough for any average Valorant player to have a mental breakdown.
Because the only thing women are good for is cooking, cleaning, sucking, and
But overall, it seems like playing multiplayer
editor
games
is
with a
so
more feminine
unhinged.
avatar can lead to a less lonely gaming experience in general. But at the end of the day, these kinds of things all play a part into a bigger overall narrative. Yeah, the Proteus effect can offer some answers, but it's not this magical solution to the question. Personally, I think when a person plays a game, they want to immerse themselves as much as possible. For some people, that's making their character look just like them in real life, and for others, it's being something completely different. Tons of people use games as a form of escapism. I mean, if you're a big manly dude working a grueling 8-hour shift getting yelled at by customers all day, why would anyone blame you for coming home and roleplaying as a cute cat girl? Or maybe for you it's a deeper and more complex reason, like personally identifying with the character or using it to express something you couldn't in your daily life. There are literally hundreds of reasons to answer this question. So the truth is, as unsatisfying as this might be, it's not actually something that can be directly solved. Thanks for watching. If you like this, leave a comment and tell me about what makes you like playing certain characters.
the only thing women are good for is cooking.
Well, that was the video. Honestly, that video by Noctapus, top tier. I highly recommend his channel. Really good content. But yeah, anyways, that does it for the video. Take care, everyone. And see you on the next upload, whenever that happens. But also, in other conclusions, I'm going to be ending the stream. Thank you, everyone that did drop by. And if you have just dropped by, I'm sorry that I'm ending the stream. It's really fucking late. I do want to check if something is live. See what we got. No one is live. Like, I follow so many friends, and I swear to God, majority of them just stopped streaming. So, not having anyone to fucking raid. Lovely. Well, either way, thank you everyone for watching today's stream. It's been chaotic, but it's been fun. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya.